great pleasure to be with you, dear viewers of Burundi National TV. It's time for English News edition. On the presentation, you are alongside the I Evariste Nyonguru. Without further delaying, these are headlines. Burundi will not remain idle if the acts of aggression by Rwanda, the neighboring country, persist, particularly regarding the repeated attacks on Burundian military positions deployed as part of the peacekeeping mission in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Any further aggression will be met with an appropriate and firm response. This was stated on Monday by Edouard Bizimana, the minister in charge of foreign affairs and international cooperation, during a briefing with the diplomats and heads of international organizations operating in Burundi. After a period marked by a severe fuel shortage that greatly disrupted passenger transportation, the situation now appears to have improved. Currently, bus drivers report a sense of relief as fuel is once again available. They are able to refuel at service stations without having to endure long queues. Public transport users also confirm this change, noting that they no longer spend hours waiting in line for buses. Great. Welcome again, dear viewers of Burundi National Television in details. This Monday, the Burundian First Lady Angelina Ndayishimiye led the physical fitness sessions that brought together participants of all ages, including an 82-year-old mother. On this occasion, the First Lady encouraged the population to follow such inspiring examples in order to maintain good health. Elsie Ohokamkama has the full story.
What activity initiated by Burundian First Lady Angelina Ndayishimiye has started at Safu Mutanga at Siguvyaye exactly have participated youth, adult and old. They went from Siguvyaye, Sororizo, as far as the Unity Monument, a more than 10 kilometers distance. They did the registration exercises at Unity Monument. Among the participants were an old woman called Kausi, who is 82 years old. She saluted the initiative of the First Lady of sport activities. She said that it is her first time to wear a sport outfit and that now she feels better because before she had a leg problem. Burundi First Lady Angelina Ndayishimiye says to be happy of the results of that initiative and I wish that people may continue this sport until their old age as Kausi.
As I said, that's fun top stories. Burundi will now remain idle if the acts of aggression by the neighboring country, Rwanda, persist, particularly regarding the repeated attacks on Burundian military positions deployed as a part of the peacekeeping missions in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Any further aggression will be met with an appropriate and firm response. This was stated on Monday by Edouard Bizimana, the minister in charge of foreign affairs and international cooperation, during a briefing with the diplomats and the heads of international organizations operating in Burundi. Once again, Elsie Ohokamkama.
In that briefing with the ambassadors to Burundi and non-government organization representatives in Burundi, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Edouard Bizimana, has said that despite the peace agreement signature by Rwanda and the DRC in USA on 4th December 2025, Rwanda keeps attacking Burundian military station in peacekeeping mission in DRC. As has said Minister Edouard Bizimana, Rwandan's military bombed in the Ruvungi Valley and the Uvira town. He added that at the beginning, the Rwandans wanted the peace agreement signature to be signed after seizing Ruvungi and Uvira, but just couldn't because Burundian troops defended themselves well. However, Rwandans used drones and kept bombing the civilians, and many died. Others fled. Here in Burundi from 6th December, 518 refugees have arrived in Burundi. On 7th December, 1,807 among the refugees were Burundians who lived in Congo. 800 families were 2,110 members and 1,297 Minister Edouard Bizimana said again that they even bombed Burundian territory. 2 people were injured, what is against the international law. The bombs just fell on 5th December at 11:45 a.m. in Nyakagunda, near the Methodist Church. Nevertheless, he has encouraged the population to keep calm, that the borders are well secured, that Burundian's Defense Army is on their duty. Note that he ended that briefing, inviting the diplomatic corps accredited to Bujumbura to go and see themselves the situation, and that their security will be assured.
Great. Let's keep on our news edition in the sector of human rights. Over the next 10 years, the Ministry of Justice plans to prioritize the protection of human rights with a particular emphasis on improving the living conditions of indigenous peoples so that they may benefit from better support and guidance. This was stated by Artemo Katihabwa, the Minister of Justice, Human Rights and Gender, on Monday during the official presentation of the National 10-Year Human Rights Policy in Burundi. Details with them, Marius Mohigwe.
This meeting brought together stakeholders from the justice sector and their partners to discuss human rights and review the contents of the National Human Rights Policy document for the 10-year period from 2026 up to 2036. Minister for Justice, Human Rights, Social Affairs and Gender, Artemo Katihabwa, stated that the main actions planned in this 10-year program included the promotion of the rights of vulnerable people, among others, primitive people, as well as promoting the human rights in general. To ensure the effective implementation of this policy, all stakeholders, including non-government organizations, independent associations, and technical as well as financial partners, are called upon to contribute.
Always in the sector of human rights, Burundians should be educated on the responsible use of modern information and communication technologies, particularly in avoiding the taking and the sharing of photos that are often used to perpetrate violence through social media, especially targeting women and girls. This was one of the key messages delivered by communication expert Dieudonné Niyibizi the priest during a panel discussion held on Monday. The event focused on digital gender-based violence against women and girls and was organized by the Ministry in charge of Justice, Human Rights and Gender in collaboration with the CARE Burundi. The ministry responsible for trade, in collaboration with the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area, FCTA, organized a capacity building workshop this Monday in Bujumbura for members of the National Implementation Committee. Permanent Secretary Christine Niragira stated that Burundi has already joined the FCTA in order to benefit from the continental's economic strength, diverse trade exchanges, and access products that are not available locally. I said it so far in top stories that after a period marked by a severe fuel shortage that greatly disrupted passenger transportation, the situation now appears to have improved. Currently, bus drivers report a sense of relief as fuel is once again available. They are able to refuel at service stations without having to endure long queues. Public transport users also confirm this change, noting that they no longer spend hours waiting in line for buses. Our reporters visit several substations and bus parking areas to observe the situation on the ground. Jivanda Shimie.
We are at the Rubis service station located on the Mwezi Gisabo Boulevard, just above Nahangwa Bridge. When we passed by in the late morning, we observed that the public transport vehicles were refueling without any waiting time. There were no longer longer queues as before. At the Baz F Energy station located in Quartier Industriel, the situation was similar. Public transport vehicles were refueling without any congestion. Each bus arrived and refueled immediately at the Mogas station near the Quartier Asiatique on Boulevard Melchior Ndadaye. Buses were also refueling without any crowding. Transport operators are pleased with this improvement, saying that there is now a sense of relief compared to previous days. Bus driver Yusuf Habimana noted that the situation is currently good as they arrive and are served immediately. Didier Hakizimana is also pleased to be able to refuel without waiting. He recalls that previously he could spend 1 or even 2 weeks waiting for fuel. He asked that fuel supply remain stable so that everyone can go about their daily activities without difficulty. This fuel availability has also allowed passengers to avoid waiting long for buses, unlike what was happening before to the parking area of the former Central Market of Bujumbura, where we passed in the afternoon. Lines of passengers were visible, but the security officers on site explained that this was due to rush hour as the buses were stuck in traffic jams. It is worth noting that this improvement in fuel distribution has led to a decrease in transport fares for buses going up country.
Great. Let's now move in the sector of education. Since the gradual establishment of universities closer to the population in the northern region of the country, a highly positive impact has been observed, particularly in terms of intellectual training across various fields. This proximity has also led to a significant increase in the number of students, including those from modest backgrounds, who now have access to higher education. These developments were highlighted by several students as well as university officials during the visit conducted by the National Radio and Television of Burundi, northern region of the country. Details.
Kuja kwiga Bujumbura ntivyari kutorera kuko twese ntwa dufise uburyo bungana rero ije abanyeshure biga babaye benshi baragwiriye.
Testimonies from students attending private universities in the northern region of the country, where the majority of universities still operate in the capital city of Bujumbura, making access to higher education difficulty for young people from modest backgrounds. There has been a gradual emergence of private universities outside of the capital, particularly in the northern region of the country. Some leaders of these institutions stated that their main objective is to bring higher education closer to youth living in the rural interior. Gaspar Nsengiyumva, head of the Eastern African Leadership Institute, ARE in acronym, explains that the idea behind founding this university was to support young people from remote areas who often lack the means to live in or study in Bujumbura. Similarly, Shafiki Nakarutimana, secretary of the Islamic High Institute of Muyinga, ISIM in French acronym, notes that the establishment of this institution in Muyinga was driven by the same goal: to reduce the transportation and accommodation costs for students. The students interviewed welcomed the proximity of these university institutions. Many say they would never have had an opportunity to pursue their studies in Bujumbura. Moreover, this increased accessibility has allowed a greater number of young people to enter higher education. Since these universities began establishing themselves in the interior of the country, many individuals have graduated and are now actively contributing to the national development, particularly in the northern region. For example, the University of Ngozi has already graduated more than 7,700 students who are now involved in various sectors of the national progress. Currently, the northern region of the country is home to several institutions such as the University of Ngozi, along with the branches in the Muyinga, Ngozi and the Kayanza, ISIM in the commune of Muyinga, and the Northern Lakes University based in the commune of Kirundo. Henceforth, the police will collaborate with the grassroots administrative authorities and the population to combat prohibited alcoholic beverages. This declaration was made on Monday by Municipal Commissioner Edouard Mukoko during a joint operation carried out by the police and the BBN, which involved disposing the illicit drinks in the Butere zone of Nhangwa commune. As you are already aware, on every Monday we come back on the news that mark the past week. Today we have a look in the news that was trending, that And we will just have a look in jogging and a physical exercise session read by the Brunei First Lady Angel Ndayishimiye in the provinces of Buhumuza and Bujumbura. We will also cover the matches held this past weekend in the Bujumbura, particularly in the volleyball and handball. Details.
Let us begin this sports retrospective with the fitness sessions organized by the Bruneian First Lady Angel Ndayishimiye this Tuesday in Muyinga Commune. The same session was also held on a Friday and a Saturday in the city of Bujumbura with the aim of promoting physical exercise, particularly given its contribution to human health. During these sessions, Angel Ndayishimiye emphasized that such physical activities help to strengthen love and cohesion within the community. At the end of the sessions, various sports equipment was distributed to participants. In handball, several matches were played over the weekend. On the women's side, the Muzinga team claimed victory by defeating Sisters with a score of 16-14. Third place went to Eagles, who beat Rumuri 31-16. Among the men, the final match pitted SOS against Inwali, with the SOS emerging victorious 27-22. The third place match was won by Brothers, who dominated Friends with a score of 49-31. All qualified teams will soon face opponents from other regions of the country. Moving on, the National Volleyball Championship will enter its second week this weekend. In the women's division, Lezas defeated GR in straight sets 3-0, while the Gender Light Club also won against Estetica with the same scoreline. In the men's division, Muzinga won by default as Amicale do Bujumbura failed to appear for the match. This competition also served as an opportunity to distribute sports equipment, volleyballs and nets to various teams, encouraging them to prepare well for upcoming matches. It's worth noting that the National Volleyball Championship will conclude in February 2026.
Great. Nothing remains. It is with this element on sports that we conclude our edition. Thank you for joining us, and on the presentation we will alongside Iverson Nyonguru. Catch you later.